Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the Hardcore Podcast. This is episode 28, and I'm your host, Christopher Norwood.
And I'm your host, Robert Melton.
Oh, brother. It's good to be back.
Oh, yeah. Back in the stew.
Back in the stew.
We cooking.
We cooking with different angles today. Trying something new. So today we're going to be discussing Pokemon origin lore. So we're going back to like the origins of everything, how time and space was created, the world, land, seas. We're setting the stage for more like Pokemon videos to come.
Yeah.
But to do that, we have to, again, just kind of set the stage. So, without further ado, in a vortex of complete chaos and nothingness, a single egg comes into being, which then hatches into Arceus, the first being in existence. So, Arceus is essentially not just a god, but the god in the Pokemon universe, being said to have created the entire Pokemon world and help care and protect it. One of, if not the strongest Pokemon, being able to utilize every elemental type. So, yeah, Arceus. He's like the god. You got a little bit more for us?
Yeah. Because Arceus is known to be the most powerful of all Pokemon, it has demonstrated the ability to open time-spaced rifts. Space rifts. Spaced rifts?
Space rifts.
Space rifts.
Space rifts.
Which it can use to summon humans from different points in time, and even able to communicate via telepathy. Arceus has been portrayed as having powers such as bringing back things that it has once destroyed, making certain things vanish into thin air, halting time, and overturning the very laws of nature. Arceus can change its type at will in order to adapt to a situation, as seen with its use of plates. Arceus also has the power to create a piece of itself to exist outside of its home dimension, which is just as powerful as the original. So we're looking at like this deity that can literally do whatever it wants, whenever it wants, wherever it wants.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we have... How many types are there? Like 18?
18, yeah.
So Arceus is able to become every type while using these plates.
Yeah.
So like fire type, ice type, water type, all of them. And he has a different like aesthetic for like each type.
Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to have a favorite type?
Yeah. Dark type.
Dark type. I will say dark type's probably my second favorite, but it does look badass.
Yeah, it's like gray and has red eyes, and
I feel like the color scheme is kind of similar to that of like Giratina.
Yeah.
Who we're going to talk about here shortly. But I'd have to say ice type would probably be my favorite.
That's
it's
a cool
just
looking
like
one.
a really pretty blue and all like the different accents of the color that change in Arceus. It's all just that same blue, but something
Alolan
about it.
Ninetales simp.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's like a Alolan Ninetales Arceus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all of them are really cool. There's like not a bad one, but yeah, those two are probably my favorite.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a pretty dope one.
Yeah.
Arceus is shown to care for and safeguard the planet in ancient times and protected it from cataclysms such as meteors, and it would show gratitude and compassion in return to those who treated it with equal kindness. In the modern time, Arceus continues to watch over the world, and it wishes for people and Pokemon to work together in face of adversity. Even when it is needed, it would only give out hints for how to solve the problem, instead of directly interfering. Arceus does not suffer fools gladly, and it will attack in a violent rampage if betrayed or deceived. It also holds long grudges if betrayed by those that it considered friends. Arceus is said to feed off the energy of the elemental plates and also has the power to appear in dreams. So again, like, that is so powerful.
It's a biblical god.
Bro,
That's God, man. That's
Arceus
God,
is Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Haunting your dreams.
One of many things, but yes, Freddy Krueger.
But yeah, I think it's cool how, again, it doesn't interfere as God does.
Like
doesn't.
free will.
Yeah, free will.
Yeah.
So like, you have like Team Rocket or whoever the antagonist is, just
Mhm.
fucking causing chaos.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, okay, try to solve it.
Well, I imagine, I mean, this isn't like official, but do you think here, I'll pose this as a question. Do you think, just like biblical God, Arceus God, do you think he's like all knowing? Like, does he know, like, hey, the work of Team Rocket, it's not going to cause like world destruction or anything, so I'm not going to even
I would say so.
interfere.
I would say so.
You'd say so? Because I'm thinking so too.
I think because in the only appearances in like the anime where it's shown in like length are 2 movies, I believe, and that's because of the destruction with like Palkia, Giratina, and Dialga. And then there's one with Hoopa, who brings back all these legendaries and mythicals. And obviously that's just a recipe for destruction, all these monsters running around, all these powerful creatures.
Does Hoopa have that ability to do that? I don't know much about Hoopa, I'll be honest.
I don't know much about Hoopa, but yes, he can like summon and pull things through like rifts, sort of like portals of a sort.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because this is probably going to be a first of many Pokemon like lore videos to come.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've done many Pokemon videos, but like lore videos to come. So we'll eventually get more into Hoopa and stuff.
But like in cases like that, where there's like gonna be like world to universe destruction, I think that's when he has to chime in like, bro.
Yeah. Like he has that power.
I have to be the scale here.
Right.
Like, you're tipping it way too far,
Yeah. I think it's more than just like, hey, I created all this. I think he has to kind of, to some extent, be like all-knowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first ancient inhabitants of the Hisui region, which we know as Sinnoh, ancient Sinnoh.
Okay, Hisui, yes.
The Celestica worship Arceus, referring to it as Almighty Sinnoh and Great Sinnoh. Arceus also had the title Might of Sinnoh. It is also implied that its physical form is only a piece of its whole being, while its true form is unknown and incomprehensible.
Damn.
So that's really cool. So we don't actually know or could even think of what Arceus would look like.
And I think it was something that we had like taken out, but there was mention of some people believe Arceus to have created everything with his 1,000 arms.
Yeah.
So maybe that's reference to that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just like that's the true form of Arceus, but it's just so incomprehensible.
Yeah, and if you look at like the biblical angels, like described in the Bible, like they look crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of like a biblical.
It's like the eye.
Yeah. Well, it's like thousands of eyes and like these
like
wings.
Seraphim or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
So it's kind of similar in that regard to where you just couldn't even fathom to look like that would be terrifying, So
that's really interesting.
So Arceus is physiologically resembling an equine. And that's just like what a horse is, like an equestrian.
Oh, okay.
It also resembles a fusion of Palkia and Dialga, and even more so in their origin forms. And that, I assume he created the trio, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And he needed like a body to, cast into this mortal world that he built. So that's probably the inspiration he got, or it got.
Yeah.
To just like, okay, I'll use this. And then he created them from that.
If you're creating like a trio to help you kind of create the universe and world as we know it, as in Pokemon, like I'm probably going to make them to like reflect me to some extent.
Exactly. Yeah. The Triforce. He created his own Triforce.
Nintendo, it's all connected.
Literally.
One fun fact. So you hear us pronouncing it as Arceus, because that's how that's how I believe it to be pronounced. But according to the anime dubs, then voice director Tom Whalen The dub chose to pronounce Arceus with a hard C instead of a soft C due to concerns over latter pronunciation potential implications in British-speaking territories.
Yeah.
Because they say like arse, that's like ass.
Mm-hmm.
Arsling. So they say...
Gotta whip your arse.
Yeah, that's why they say Arceus, like in the dub. But still, I will always pronounce it Arceus.
Oh, of course.
It just sounds better. It just kind of rolls off the
It does.
tongue. Arceus. Arceus.
Arceus is like...
Arceus. Arse.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's very like punchy.
It's like sharp.
Arceus.
Arceus. But
Pirate.
No, just I had read that and I was like, oh wow.
No, that's a really cool fact. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely heard both, and I've also heard both were right.
Yeah,
So-
no, I don't think it's one of those like, oh, you're definitely wrong.
Yeah.
So again, in the very beginning, a vortex of complete chaos and nothingness, a single egg comes into being, which is then hatches into Arceus, the first being in existence. So Arceus then creates Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, the origin trio, as you said. Dialga, who controls time, Palkia, who controls space, and Giratina, who controls antimatter.
Yeah. So the creation trio, also known as the Primordial Chaos. That's kind of a sick nickname.
They're
for
also
them.
known as Primordial Chaos. I gotta say, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Primordial Chaos.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Like imagine just like learning of these things that exist called primordial chaos.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
that much power you're playing with.
Well, I mean, just like imagine now, like say like, okay, God exists and there are these three angels and one controls space, one controls time, and one controls antimatter. Like that's fucking terrifying, dude.
It is. Yeah. Especially when, we get more into like what they're able to do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. They
Yeah.
could essentially do whatever they want.
So
Real quick though, going over this has kind of solidified for me that, and I understand why, but in the games, like, you can catch all these Pokemon, but I feel like that's total bullshit.
oh, of course.
You're not fucking catching God. Dude, you could literally do anything you want. Like at any point, he could like reverse time and be like, "Nuh-uh, you didn't catch me."
You know what's funny? Thinking about it now, because in Legends Arceus, you eventually get to a point where you can catch Arceus. Why wouldn't you be able
alert. Right.
to? But like in the lore, which we'll talk about in our next episode after this, because we're going to be going down this rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Arceus sends you to this ancient time.
Yes.
And then you end up capturing you enslave
The
fucking
perfect
Arceus.
betrayal.
Yeah.
He's like, I allowed this to happen.
But he also holds grudges, as we know.
Much like Legend of Zelda, and maybe it's just a Nintendo thing, very convoluted.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Very convoluted, contradicting in many aspects.
Oh, there's so much in Pokemon that's contradicting.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well, again,
we'll eventually get to it, but
The Legend of Zelda is one thing, but like Pokemon is very, very vast. We're
Oh,
now
yeah.
over 1,000 Pokemon who each have like their own lore.
Yeah.
Really?
and
So-
like we're only talking like we're just like we're main series fans. We're not even getting into like the mystery dungeons and all these like spin-off games.
Yeah.
And those are even more like what the fuck.
They add more. They add more. But yeah, again, all this lore we're covering today, all this stuff that these Pokemon can do, I think we're talking about 7 Pokemon.
Yeah. That's it. Out of over 1,000.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, sorry. It's like 7 to 10 Pokemon. That's all we're talking about today. And it's just crazy all the lore you have with just those 10.
Yeah.
So again, Arceus then creates Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, the origin trio. Dialga, who controls time, Palkia, who controls space, and Giratina, who controls antimatter. Let's talk more about Dialga.
Let's go. So, Dialga. Dialga seems to be based on a short-necked sauropod dinosaur, which this is kind of like a sauropod's like a small, like a raptor type Pokemon. It's like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of short.
I mean, I'm picturing Dialga. I'm not thinking raptor though.
Well, I mean, just his shape.
Oh, okay.
Just know, like the neck, the hunched over, just like short arms.
Yeah. Okay.
Big feet. Yeah. So Pokemon spoken of in legend. It is said that time began moving when Dialga was born and continues to move as long as Dialga's heart is beating. It completely controls the flow of time and uses its power to travel at will through the past and the future. So imagine like some Pokemon poacher kills Dialga. What would happen?
Yeah, no, that would definitely fuck up everything.
Yeah.
Like time would just stop, right?
Well, it is said that Arceus also has the power to recreate the creation trio as well. So,
yeah,
they're
trying to cover up these loopholes
as
best as they can.
Yeah, literally.
You couldn't do that because I could make them again.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why Pokemon never die. They're unconscious.
I mean, yeah. Arceus, he was like safeguard.
Yeah.
Plot
seriously. And again, because somewhat what we're discussing, it's going to be like a timeline. There's a little bit of timeline. We're just covering a very small chunk of it. So when Arceus is created, like I'm guessing he like almost immediately just, creates Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina.
Yeah.
Because there's no time that has passed because time is not present. Yeah, it's like, that's weird to say. Time is not present then. But yeah, it doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, the way I read it is Arceus is said to have been just in nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
hard to grasp. It's very hard to grasp.
And then all there was an egg, and Arceus was in the egg. And then he was like, hey, I'm going to make this.
Because what I found is in a vortex of complete chaos and nothingness. Like, how do you have both of those things?
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, like, he is in itself incomprehensible. Yeah. Like, we don't know shit when you, like, in the grand scheme of things. Humans know nothing.
Right.
Like, we are smart. We're the smartest creatures on Earth.
Yeah.
But in conclusion, like, we know nothing.
Like, because when we think chaotic, I mean, we're just thinking, like, stuff everywhere, explosions, just craziness. But can you grasp complete nothingness? Can that be chaotic?
I think so, because...
because you can't even grasp it. You can't even grasp just nothing.
Like... So when I think nothing, I think complete silence, maybe like a black void. But even that is something. You know what I mean? Like black, a color. That's still something. Even if it was all white, it's still something. Like, so what is nothing?
Well, black is the absence of like color, pretty much. Whereas like white is like all the colors, like black is like void of like light color altogether.
But even then, it's still something. You know what I mean?
Again, this is why it's like really hard to grasp.
Exactly.
A vortex of nothingness, like in chaos.
Yeah, it's.
But where I was going was like maybe that nothingness, we can't grasp it, but maybe that is chaos. Maybe that's chaotic.
I think so.
I don't know.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But also I couldn't.
But then, amidst that, a single egg comes into being.
Yeah.
Which then hatches into Arceus.
I mean, it's like the big boom. Like, how can we...
Yeah. Well, again, like, all that. You have to go back. There has to have been something outside of time.
I mean, literally,
yeah.
Something... had to come from nothing to
I
be
guess
something.
Outside of time and all of that was this egg.
Yeah. This one singular egg.
Yeah. I'm sure we're getting probably more deep than we have to. It's Pokemon.
I didn't intend to get that deep, but yeah.
It's interesting.
It is.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And it's got a lot of similarities to like real life,
Yeah.
It kind of has to, I guess.
There's so much influence just taken from a lot of different things.
Yeah. So back to Dialga.
Mm-hmm.
Dialga also has the power to destroy and create time itself. Dialga's temporal power possesses the ability to devolve anything or anything against their will. Pokemon, humans, plants. It can even reverse those devolution effects. In its origin form, Dialga can even unleash meteors and shockwaves. So, like Arceus has its like physical form and its true form, which we don't know what it is.
Yes.
Dialga has its origin form, and then I guess it's what is altered. What is
I
it
just
like?
knew it as just I don't know.
I don't know if it has a
Basic,
name.
normal
Yeah,
form?
basic form.
Yeah.
But its origin form looks very similar to Arceus.
Yes.
And the same with Palkia's. But that is cool, the reference to like how it can destroy and create time. Like it has full control of time, right?
Yes.
But like think about it, like it can literally like reverse time. So it can literally devolve something. So like you have this like tree and just it uses its ability and it's a seed again, you know? It's cool to think about.
So I'm also wondering, because again, we've established that like Arceus has to some extent, like kind of be all knowing, know what's going to happen. I feel like he had to have given some of that to Dialga and Palkia, or else they could just be like fucking around, just like, whoa.
I think so. I think, Arceus.
Because when you play the Pokemon games, like time is just, it's normal. Like there's nothing, Dialga's not out here fucking around with time and stuff.
Yeah. I think, well, I would assume that Arceus created them as equals in their own right, but also
to help aid him and like
to bring balance to the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, also to aid him to what the creation of the world.
Right.
But they might not possess like the pure knowledge that Arceus has, but maybe like a portion of it.
Yeah.
And they
if it's like an obedience, like, hey,
yes,
if we don't do things just normally, like he's going to interfere.
Exactly. Like daddy's going to beat our ass.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is stated like in the lore that I read that he has, with Arceus in their presence, it's calming to them. So I guess like just them, Arceus being in their presence, it's like, we got to stop, like the overlord's here. Like he will fucking vaporize us. He doesn't need us.
Right.
Okay. So even though Dialga tends to have violent conflicts with its counterpart, Palkia, it has the power to create a new universe by itself or with Palkia. As Dialga primarily resides in a different dimension, its behavior is nearly impossible to study. In the dimension where origin form Dialga lives in, time is said to be constantly moving in different directions and speeds. So,
again, stuff that's
how
hard to
do
grasp.
You grasp that?
We can't. It's like unfathomable.
Now that's fucking chaos right there.
You can't fathom
I think
that.
like fucking New York. Like New York roads. Beep, beep, like,
but that's time,
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think it's like, I don't even know if any of this stuff has happened in like the Pokemon universe. Maybe this is just saying like Dialga has the power to make this happen.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it's more so that.
Yeah. And I mean, we do know that there are different universes in the Pokemon universe.
Yeah.
So I would have to imagine Dialga is a part of that. He would have to be, right?
Played a part.
Yeah.
Making that happen. Yeah.
So Dialga is the only known Pokemon capable of learning the move Roar of Time. The move can be charged into a more powerful version of itself while Dialga is in its origin form. This move is a thick blue and white beam of light emitting from Dialga's head, which blasts its opponent with power that distorts time. Like, God, dude, can you imagine just being like, this is like an Aggron, just getting blasted with this.
Somehow still surviving in the games.
Yeah,
and
like
then the trainer catching him. Again, that's why I'm like,
I know.
this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But again, I get why we have it because like it's Pokemon. Like it's cool to like I have all the Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to catch every single Pokemon.
Like I feel like a hit of like Roar of Time would like just send you back to like your fetal stage.
I mean, realistically, this Dialga could be like, oh, Aggron, boop, 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 boop. You're now an Aeron.
Yeah, literally.
You know?
Because it has the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it not? Yeah, I mean, obviously we do know, like, you're not going to catch a fucking Dialga. Like, the game might let you, but...
Root beer. Good boys. Dialga. Sorry, when you said Dialga, that's all that like came to mind.
Oh, fuck,
Good boys.
Oh, I love that guy.
That is hilarious. So again, we've established Dialga and how he controls time. So Palkia, who controls space. Let's dig deeper into Palkia.
So Palkia looks to be based on a theropod dinosaur. Now that is like a bronchiosaurus, like with a big ass neck. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The big like Land Before Time. Those dinosaurs, the big ones.
I got you. You have them backwards.
Hmm?
You had it backwards, I think.
What do you mean?
That's Dialga.
Mm-mm.
Palkia is like the raptor. Dialga's on all fours.
No. Oh yeah, you're right. Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah, that's why.
Wait a fucking minute.
In the beginning, I was so confused because you were talking about Dialga being like a raptor. I'm like,
oh shit, you're
he's
right.
kind of like, you know,
how did
like
I
the Land
fuck
Before
that up?
Time, more like the long necks.
How did I fuck that up?
That's okay.
That's so funny though.
Yeah. Well, now that
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I heard you say that, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
he
like,
has them backwards.
I know
gave you a
exactly
pass.
what they look like.
I gave you a pass early on. I was like, okay.
Okay, now we know.
Yes.
Now we know. But yes, you were.
He has a Pokemon
clear.
sleeve.
Hey, they ain't on it. They ain't on it.
I'm just being an asshole. Sorry.
Okay. So Palkia.
Yes.
It is said to live in a gap in the spatial dimension parallel to ours and has the ability to distort space. It is described as a deity in the Sinnoh region mythology and has total control over boundaries of space and able to transport itself to faraway places or even other dimensions. The birth of Palkia was what caused the walls of our world to disappear, creating a sky that spans for infinity. Like, what the fuck would the walls even look like?
I don't know. I just think those Pokemon guys just be writing some shit like, oh, this sounds really cool. But they can't explain it.
I know. It's like, damn, we got a room?
And now we're here just trying to fucking like translate. Oh gosh, what does this mean?
Yeah. It is believed that Palkia's origin form resembles Arceus as a strategy in order to gain its power, and can also unleash meteors and shockwaves, just as Dialga can. So, I'm trying to wrap my head around that. So, Palkia is trying to gain Arceus's power with its form?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because we've already established, like, they've got to know, like, oh, this guy could fuck us up. So, like, why are you trying to gain Daddy's power?
Yeah. And, like, this is, like, from lore from the games and mangas and all this canon shit. So I'm just trying to understand what that exactly means. So
the temptation of sin got to Palkia. That's what it is.
Hey, one of them's got to be a bad boy.
So Palkia is the Eve.
Yeah.
The Eve in the
he
garden.
ate the apple.
Got tempted.
Yep.
Like, I want some of Daddy's power.
So Palkia can also connect dimensions through dimensional portals, along with undoing their effects, and destroy space itself. It was said that Palkia can create alternate realities as well. The space Palkia controls is said to become more stable with its every breath. So Palkia and Dialga are literally yin and yang when it comes to the, like I said earlier, the scale. Like without them, it's just...
Yeah.
There is no just.
Yeah. Like you said, they're counterparts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palkia is the only known Pokemon capable of learning Spatial Rend, a pinkish purple slash that it's capable of propelling. So it's literally slashing into space and just opening these fucking vortexes, these portals, these wormholes, whatever it fucking wants to make. Palkia can use Spatial Rend to tear both its opponent and the space around them apart at the same time, warping everything it hits. This can also be charged into a more powerful version while the Pokemon's in its origin form. So, I mean, yeah. Like, getting hit by a fucking Palkia. You're gone, dude. You're gone.
You're fucking gone, my guy.
Like,
you ain't catching this bitch. You're not fucking catching these gods of Pokemon.
You're turning to Stardust.
Pretty much, gosh. Did you know that Arceus looks like a fusion between Dialga and Palkia? Like the origin forms, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah,
actually, I did see where they even added in Giratina to like create the body of like Arceus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So that leaves Giratina. But before we get into Giratina, so time and space. I almost said they're much easier to grasp, but they're really not. But when it comes to like antimatter, I would say we know a little bit more about like what time and space is versus antimatter. But to put things into perspective, antimatter, it's incredibly dangerous. About a gram, just a gram of antimatter could produce an explosion the size of a nuclear bomb.
I want to pack me a dip of that.
You said pack you a dip of that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, underneath your
Dip
bottom lip?
Yeah, a little dip of antimatter. My Copenhagen.
So again, this is what Giratina controls.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more into this, but due to this destructive nature of Giratina, he is punished and sent to live in an alternate dimension, the Distortion World. I'm sure I'm getting ahead of myself there because you're going to get more into that. But like, very aggressive Pokemon here.
Yeah.
Again, what he is in control of is pretty much destruction. You know what I'm saying?
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah, literal
sent to its
destruction.
own dimension, its own world.
Yeah.
Just so it would not fuck everything up.
Yeah. Which we'll get more into the Distortion World. I have a little bit on it, but before that, let's find out a little bit more about Giratina. What we got?
So, a Pokemon that is said to live in a world on the reverse side of ours, where common knowledge is distorted and strange. Like, imagine that.
Common knowledge.
Yeah. So, like, just think of anything. Like, okay, I drink so I can live.
Yeah.
What do I do? Like, nothing would make sense if you enter this world.
Yes and no could be red and blue.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, makes no sense, but it makes sense there.
Words could be bugs.
Yeah. And then instantly change. Yes and no could be red and blue, but then yes and no could be grasshopper cricket.
Yeah. You could be peeing out of your eye. Yeah.
Weird, very weird.
Yeah, hard to grasp.
Sounds like a bad trip.
100%.
Oh my gosh. Heroic dose. Heroic dose of shrooms.
20 grams right there. Oh, God.
I'll show you, Distortion World.
Yeah.
Take this.
So you hit on this a little bit. It was banished by Arceus for its violence, but it is shown to possess a gentler disposition when in the presence of humans. It silently gazed upon the old world from the Distortion World. Gaze is. So that's cool, and I feel like that is kind of what Arceus intended it to do, just to kind of keep the harmony between, humans and Pokemon.
Yeah. I wonder if that's like one of the reasons why. What did you say about him showing like calmness or something amongst like humans?
Yeah. shown to possess a gentler disposition when in the presence of humans.
Because, he is just used to just like pretty much chaos. What we think of chaos, distortion world.
Yeah.
So when he sees like beings who are like have routine and there's like a reason behind the way they do things and why they do these things, maybe that's like, I don't know, calming for him. Because again, he's just used to fucking chaos and just things just changing here and there.
Yeah.
I can walk on walls and I can swim on the ceiling, just crazy shit.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it is too. Like if you've ever played Platinum, there's like platforms in like the sky and they're all like fucking vertical and horizontal fucking, It's just all crazy.
That was the DS doing its best to show.
Yeah.
Can you imagine now? Like PS5, like what the distortion world is?
That'd be so sick.
It'd be some crazy shit.
God, I wish. I was gonna hit on something.
Sorry. I distracted you. Widowy.
You widowy sent me to the distortion world.
Whoa.
Guillotino literally lives in the shadow realm.
Widowy.
So yeah, it silently gazes upon the world, the old world, from the distortion world. But yeah, even if it's like, it sees these like beings doing their routine things, like drinking, eating, just living.
And nothing changing though.
And nothing changing.
Things are probably, again, in his world, they're just flipping and flopping.
But he's just like, I assume at peace with all that.
Yeah, it's peaceful in comparison, for sure.
Yeah, and he's just there alone. But he still can see everything happening,
Yeah.
But yeah. Among the most complex Pokemon to understand, Giratina is both malevolent and dreaded in both its nature and appearance. For all the fear it receives, Giratina can be merciful to less evil creatures. Now, if you know what Giratina looks like, it's menacing as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like this like serpent looking fucking, it's got like these
like claws.
They're like claw, like tentacles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's scary. So the origin form of Giratina is said to be Giratina's true form, capable of traveling through and controlling dimensions besides those of time and space. When in its origin form, it can pass through dimensions at will. However, it will turn back to its altered form due to the gravity change from the distortion world. Giratina has the power to turn itself into a shadow and merge the distortion world with the Pokemon world. That's cool.
Mm.
When in the real world, it is in its altered form. However, this has the dangerous side effects of distorting it to the risk of being destroyed. Giratina has the power to tear a hole in reality, creating a space-time distortion, along with driving both Dialga and Palkia berserk. So, you piss fucking Giratina off, dude, the world ends. The universe ends, essentially. Because
it's time for daddy to, come in.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Giratina can cause that to space and time and space-time.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you got Palkia and Dialga trying to fend for themselves against fucking Giratina, who's here to just fuck everything up.
Again, that was the reason why he was kind of like banished to the distortion world. It's very aggressive, just destruction and chaos.
Mm-hmm. And I was reading just like what or how they came to make the look of Giratina, and there's like points on it. And they kind of equal to like 666. So he's essentially like the devil.
There's points?
Yeah, like its design is created in a way to like reference like the beast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Giratina at one point carried a grudge against its creator Arceus and was willing to stand against it. Though years later, it would become a protector of the world. Due to its violent nature, history on Giratina was covered due to ancient people fearing it. Giratina can also open portals through anything that reflects. Its role is to keep both worlds in balance. Giratina also has many different titles like the Banished Pokemon, Arceus' Shadow, the Pokemon of Shadows, and Being on the other side of our world. Giratina is the only known Pokemon capable of learning Shadow Force, which gives it the ability to temporarily turn invisible by cloaking itself in darkness, rendering it semi-invulnerable and releasing a devastating attack on its opponent.
Mm.
So yeah, there you have it. You got God and you got the devil.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
You got these two little angels in between.
Yep. So you definitely, and we definitely hit on the distortion world a little bit. But what I have here is the distortion world is said to be another universe or a parallel world where time does not flow and spatial relations are shown to be irregular, allowing one to walk on walls and watch objects simply disappear. That on top of what we already said. But again, if we were like really discussing the distortion world, I feel like we could just go on and on and on, like with these examples that we were given and stuff. And it's probably, again, just hard to grasp what exactly the distortion world is, you know?
Anything you can fucking think of.
Yeah.
Just all at once. Anything everywhere all at once.
Yes. That's what that movie's about.
Yep.
It's a Pokemon movie. So, Dialga and Palkia help aid Arceus in creating the universe in the Pokemon world and then retreat to their own dimensions. So we've now got to a point where, you know, we were kind of going into detail about these Pokemon and the lore of them. But in this like kind of little timeline we have, Arceus creates Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, and then Dialga and Palkia help aid Arceus in creating the universe and Pokemon world and then retreat to their own dimensions.
Indeed.
So Arceus then creates Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, giving knowledge, emotion, and willpower to all living things that come into existence in the Pokemon world. The three dive into caves at the bottom of Lake Verity, Valor, and Acuity, giving them the name Lake Guardians. So they're like these little kind of like flying Mew-like pixie fairy things.
You know what?
What's that?
Read over their willpower and those again. Those three.
Okay. So he creates Uxie, Mesprit, Azelf, giving knowledge,
wisdom. Okay.
Emotion,
courage. Okay.
and willpower.
Bro, it's a fucking Triforce right there.
I thought that's maybe what you were getting at. Again, Nintendo, it's all connected.
Yeah.
It's the same universe. Dialga's out here just making fucking timelines in Zelda.
That's so true.
Root beer. All right, so yeah, the three dive into the caves at the bottom of Lake Verity, Valor, and Acuity, giving them the names Lake Guardians. So Uxie. Let's start with Uxie. Uxie is the bringer of knowledge. It created all knowledge in the Pokemon universe. Notably, when Uxie first emerged, humans gained the knowledge needed to solve problems and improved their quality of life. Uxie's spirit can leave its body without dying and return at will, and is both feared and respected for its ability to erase the memories of evil people. Mesprit. Mesprit is the bringer of emotion. Legends say that a person that touches it will have their emotions completely drained away. Mesprit was highly feared due to it punishing those who disrespect it, throwing their emotions into disarray. It is also said that this Pokemon taught humans the ability to feel sorrow, pain, and joy. So if you're suffering from depression, just know Mesprit's fucking with you. You may have accidentally touched its spirit.
If you or a loved one has been affected by mesophilia.
By Mesprit. So fun fact. I have a fun fact. So, category types. As Pikachu is a mouse Pokemon, and Klefki is a keyring Pokemon, the category type, Mesprit is, unsurprisingly, an emotion Pokemon. But there are two more emotion Pokemon. Do you know the other two? So there's three category type emotion Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, there's 3 Pokemon with the category type of emotion. I'll say that.
Interesting.
So we know that one is Mesprit. Do you know what the other 2 are?
Let me go down the 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought I'd ask.
Okay.
I would be incredibly impressed.
Can you give me a generation? Possibly.
For one of them, I don't even know the other
Okay.
one. But yeah, I'll just tell you.
Okay,
I just didn't
tell me.
know if this was just something you weirdly just happened to already know.
No.
So, you have Mesprit, you have Curlia, and Indeedee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Curlia.
I was trying to remember what it said about Curlia, but something about like she becomes more beautiful due to like the positive emotions of her trainer or something. And Indeedee is like the servant Pokemon, so she builds energy based off of like pretty much satisfying trainers and stuff. I was trying to think of a word other than satisfy because I knew your mind was going to go there. Grow up, Robert. Grow up, dude.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's funny.
And in your case, there is a male in DD. You know what I'm saying? Mikey, if you're listening. But no, I just thought that was cool. There's
That is
only
cool.
3 emotion Pokemon. Mesprit, Curlia, and Indeedee. Indeedee. All right, so Azelf. Yeah, whenever you see Mesprit, Azelf. Azelf is the bringer of willpower due to its role in giving humans the determination to face challenges in life. It can also control an individual's will or enter the body of an individual. Legends say that if Azelf is harmed, it can cause humans to lose all will inside of them, making them completely immobile for all eternity.
Whoa.
All 3 of the Lake Guardians have the power to calm Dialga and Palkia should they become enraged, and they are all capable of speech via telepathy. So, Arceus creates Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, giving knowledge, emotion, and willpower to all living things that come into existence in the Pokemon world. Kyogre is formed. Yeah, we're just skipping to that. Yeah. Kyogre. Because again, we have the world.
What
right?
a segue.
we have the world.
We
right?
have the world now.
I guess when I was writing this out, I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. But hey, this is what I was given. This is all they had to give. So we have the world. So how do we get all this water in the land masses?
Yeah.
I'm going to answer that for you.
Thank you.
So, first off, Kyogre is formed by the pressure in the deep sea trenches. Groudon is formed deep inside the earth, likely from hardened magma in earth itself. And Rayquaza is formed by the minerals of the ozone layer. So, Kyogre. Kyogre is a massive whale-like Pokemon that possesses the ability to expand oceans and has control over the element of water and rain. Kyogre is normally calm and peaceful and is hailed as a savior for quenching areas of the world plagued with drought. So pretty cool. Literally has control over the entire element of water.
You know, one
So
thing.
any water Pokemon coming at him, just like, nah. Can you imagine like shooting a water gun and just like, nah, I control that, and it just like
Yeah.
hits itself or something?
One thing.
Not super impressive in comparison to what we talked about, but still. You control space and time. I control water, bitch.
On this one planet.
Yeah.
What always got me was like, obviously we know that Groudon and Kyogre are in this like feud against each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck are they gonna do to each other?
Beats my dick, dude.
He's splashing them,
It's like when you're in the pool.
and then Groudon's like, "Stop, stop."
But like, just like Dialga and Palkia, they're like opposites.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, but I'm wondering if like Groudon can just like conjure the fucking earth and just like
I think it's
Kyogre's like flopping like a fish.
I think it's through the... So let's read on Groudon. So Groudon is a massive bipedal dinosaur-like Pokemon that possesses the ability to expand continents. This Pokemon can summon intense droughts and cause volcanic eruptions, which create land masses. Both Groudon and Kyogre are polar opposites. So yeah, I think it's through like volcanic eruptions, which I'm guessing is able to like come from within him.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I guess at will he can just kind of create giant land masses through like an eruption within himself.
Did you happen to mention or get any information about their primal forms?
No, I wasn't trying to like dive into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to hit that on.
Yeah, because I didn't think about it. Like originally, I didn't know you were going to like cover like the origin forms and stuff.
I mean, I vaguely did.
Yeah.
We barely talked about that because there's not a lot of info on it.
Yeah. So there would
what
definitely...
we know is basically like in their home world or dimension.
Yeah.
That's where they have like this peak energy. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the like the mortal world, they have like a fraction of it, which is still like unfathomable.
I mean, the way you were reading it, it almost seemed like there's like two like entities. Like there's like the origin form, which is in its own like, you know, area, and then like the Dialga we're mainly used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty much.
But there will definitely be a future episode where we go over that much more.
100%.
Like the primal forms. So another fun fact for you. Groudon has a category name of continent Pokemon and shares this category name with one other Pokemon. Do you happen to know which Pokemon that is?
Where you say Groudon is a continent Pokemon?
Continent. If you really think about this.
Oh, yeah, I got this. Avalog.
No.
I'm kidding. It's a fucking iceberg.
I was like, I mean, it's not the worst guess.
I mean, I guess it does kind of look like
a terrible guess.
Okay, I'm going to say
just think about
Landorus?
No.
Well, I guess
no.
Oh.
I'd be incredibly impressed, but I feel like this one is
Torterra.
Torterra. It is Torterra.
Nice.
Dude, hell yeah, man. Good job, seriously.
You know what?
Awesome.
What made me think about it?
That was fucking awesome, dude. You're on fire tonight.
Thank you. I was thinking about like God of War. You know, the big ass turtle.
Yes.
So I mean, but
he does like have this like fucking like.
Yeah, he does. He has like trees and shit on his back. So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nice. I'm proud of myself.
Nice. All right, so that leaves Rayquaza. So we have the water because of like Kyogre. We have the land masses because of Groudon. And Rayquaza is just in the air. We don't have the air because of Rayquaza. He's just fucking flying around. He's not special. Honestly, shitty Pokemon.
Honestly.
Garbage. Of the 1,000 Pokemon, over 1,000 Pokemon that we have, we're talking about 10, and you literally have 3 of them tattooed on you.
Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Oh, that's so funny.
Wait.
You have Rayquaza, Giratina, and you have Primal Groudon, but still Groudon.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Cliche is a motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, legendaries. Oh, so cool.
Blissey, baby. All right, so Rayquaza is a large green serpentine Pokemon that has lived for hundreds of millions of years in the ozone layer, where it feeds on water and other particles. Shit. I think I skipped something. Yeah, sorry. So again, Kyogre is formed by the pressure in the deep sea trenches, and Groudon is formed deep inside the earth, likely from the hardened magma in Earth itself, and Rayquaza is formed by the minerals of the ozone layer. No, I didn't skip anything. We'll go for Rayquaza.
Take 2.
Sorry. All right, so Rayquaza is a large green serpentine Pokemon that has lived for hundreds of millions of years in the ozone layer, where it feeds on water and other particles. It is able to soothe the other members of the super ancient Pokemon, that being the term for the trio consisting of Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza. And in doing so, this makes Rayquaza the trio master, just as Arceus is the trio master of the creation trio. Or that other term you used that was much cooler. It also possesses some of the strongest attack power out of any Pokemon. It can easily summon cyclones and overwhelm its opponents. So, just like we were talking with like them doing battle, Kyogre and Groudon. So Kyogre and Groudon then proceed to fill the sea and create land until a chance meeting turns the two into rivals, and a conflict for dominance over the Pokemon world begins. This battle continues until Rayquaza quells it, causing Kyogre and Groudon to retreat and rest until the events of Generation 3, which we will talk about in the next episode. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
That's not the next episode.
It's not. But we are going to talk about it.
We'll get there.
We're going to talk about it. Damn, that would have been a good-ass segue
I know.
to the next episode if that's what we were talking about.
Let's get it.
But that's all I got, man. We definitely answered the questions of like time, space, world, the sea, knowledge, wisdom, willpower,
Air.
Not really. But like we are setting the scene.
As a
for, like,
Pokemon
what's to come.
you know how fucking badass Rayquaza is. And then you read his lore and you're like, what?
I mean, all right, so I could have added some to it, but like I was expecting the lore to be much more grand.
Yeah.
But, like that's for the most part what they had on them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have, and again, it sounds not nearly as cool when you talk about like Dialga and Palkia being able to create, like time and control time. Like Kyogre can just like control water, but still like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like he literally is in control of the element of water.
Yeah.
And like Groudon can create fucking continents and land masses and stuff. And then Rayquaza is just up there.
He's just watching them like
in the
behave.
ozone, just
eating fucking asteroids,
eating up
meteorites.
Honestly, it did say that. I didn't add that, but
Yeah.
apparently he like preys on, what is it called? Minior? That little like meteor Pokemon.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Oh my
it preys
God,
on
that's
Minior
fucked.
above the Alola region.
Oh, that's fucked
But
up.
again, he's just kind of flying all around. So it may be like, Alola's coming up.
That's probably one of my... Minior is probably one of my most forgot about Pokemon.
Yeah, same. Probably Meteor and Cryogonal. That's another one.
Oh, yeah.
And shamefully, the Ultra Beast. Because some of them are actually really cool.
I know.
Like, I just learned, like, I knew about Cortana, but you taught me that. You showed me that Cortana's like a foot tall.
Easily the smallest Ultra Beast. The fucking
That's
Ultra
crazy.
Beast. Like, you got Buzzwole, dude.
Like, you see it, and I'm just thinking, all right, this thing is like the size of Buzzwole, probably.
Like Celesteela?
Oh, it's huge.
It's massive.
But, like, think of that design-wise. That's so fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a cool-looking Pokemon. Honestly, the one that's the most popular, Buzzwole, that's one I kind of like the least.
I like Buzzwole.
Buzzwole's okay. It's just like...
I would say Garbodor. Not Garbodor. Fucking Guzzlord. I would say he's like one of the most popular.
Well, yeah, he's down there. Oh, you're saying he's one of the most?
I would say so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, Guzzlord, but I would also say Buzzwole.
Yeah.
He's up there too.
Yeah, definitely. I would say as a whole, dude, they are definitely forgotten.
I'm trying to think because going to TCG real quick, I know Guzzlord has a tag team card. I know Buzzwole has a tag team card.
Yeah.
I don't think Cortana has one.
I don't Celesteela. I've never seen a Celesteela card.
I could be completely wrong. It's just I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Or I don't remember. I definitely don't remember Celesteela having one.
And then there's the ones that we just forget about.
Oh, the one, but they look so sweet. The fucking, like the jellyfish one. That's like a clown jellyfish. Like, that's sick. The one that I definitely don't like is the one that has like the spiky head, the electric one.
Oh, Xurkitree?
Yeah, he's okay. But the fucking, I don't know why, but like clown jellyfish, that's just what comes to mind. With
that.
Yeah, it's just like a clown jellyfish. Oh fuck.
Oh, and then there's
so many I forgot about.
Yeah. Well, I guess Necrozma is technically an infusion.
What is it, Naganadel? I think
Naganadel, yeah.
I think that Pokemon has a tag team card.
That one. I can't remember the name.
Poipole or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Does that become Naganadel?
Actually,
They
it
look
does.
so
It does. It does.
similar.
I forgot that was an evolution.
What is it? Stackataka?
Yeah.
Stacka something.
Oh. Blacephalon. That's the one.
Yeah, see, that's
clown
cool.
one.
And maybe I was getting those
The
two.
Heligo.
I was combining those two. But yeah, the jellyfish one and like that clown one, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, Stackataka.
Um,
Poipole. Yeah, they're cool Pokemon.
but yeah, no. Sorry if it seems like it doesn't seem like we're stalling, does it? Because I mean that's all we got.
We're just talking about
Yeah.
them.
So we were just kind of setting the stage. We answered some questions of how like these things came to be. So from here on, we're just gonna pretty much go in like as best as we can, chronological order of like the different games lore.
Yeah, because
from that gen.
a lot of it's vague in terms of timeline, since they are like some are parallel, whereas others are like different time periods.
From what we've seen, just doing like very brief research, obviously you have like Legends Arceus, which we now know to be canon.
Yeah.
So that deals with like the first invention of like the Pokeball. So that has to come first, right?
Yeah.
Even though there's some time travel elements. But after that, we would have Red, Blue, Yellow. We would then have, apparently what we found was 3 years later, you have Gold, Silver, Crystal. But apparently what goes on in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, you know, those games are going on during the same like time as Gold, Silver, and Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there you have 3 years later Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, the events of like the Sinnoh region. And after that it's just like different timelines.
Yeah.
Like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th gen of Pokemon, the games, they all take place during different timelines. So like we could do the first like 4, which I mean that's the order we're gonna go in anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, after those, you know, the first 4 gens, you kind of the timeline's just gone.
Pretty much.
You know.
Yeah, it's all very vague. They don't like harp on it at all.
Yeah.
That's literally just from research we found, and we don't even know if that's correct. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So as far as that, we're just gonna go chronological in terms of release dates.
I didn't see the tweet, but I was reading something about, I guess one of like the developers or, you know, a big guy in Nintendo and has his hand in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Was talking. He tweeted something that was something about like the timeline. This was probably years ago, so in years before we got some of these games. But he was talking about like the timeline and like this is the actual timeline. But apparently, like hours later or shortly after, that tweet was deleted.
Oh.
Yeah, so I guess there really is officially like no, other than, you know, maybe the first 4 gens, there's no like official timeline connecting all of them.
Yeah.
So that's probably why we can't find anything.
Huh. That's
So,
interesting.
I don't know if it's going to be like a Legend of Zelda thing where we'll eventually get a game kind of combining them all and answering these questions.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it may not be. We may not get that.
I mean, I'm hopeful, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful, but it's Pokemon. Like, it's okay if
yeah,
there's-
like doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Yeah.
Like
Dog is,
you got a fucking spoink that if it stops bouncing, it dies.
damn,
There's-
poor thing.
I know. There's like a
Bitch just fucking sleep and just...
God. Yeah. That would be fun to just read all the fucking dex entries. Because especially like Gen 9, like any Pokemon, especially like first gen Pokemon, they have 10 plus games of just dex entries, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of them are different. So you're getting all this lore on individual Pokemon.
Coming at you, episode 29. We're going over all 1,050 dex entries for every
Ooh.
game.
Let's talk about it now. I think it would be cool, like doing these Pokemon episodes, if we read like maybe like 5 cool dex entries
Each?
as like a bonus. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
So I mean, I've definitely not even read close to all the dex
Yeah.
entries, so there's got to be some cool shit out there, but we haven't
Some
seen.
of them are crazy. Like, I want to say it was Drifloon.
Yeah, it
Who,
steals
like,
children.
Steals children. And then, was it Sinisty? Goes into, like, beverages and, like, possesses the people that drink it. Kind of justifies why all these, like, villains are, like, damn Pokemon, I'm
Seriously.
going to destroy them all. They're evil. Some of them are.
Yeah, and Arceus was like, I'll make that.
Yeah. Wouldn't this be funny?
Yeah.
This would be so quirky if he did this. We have too many children. How can we solve this? Balloons. That's right.
Yeah. And then Arceus was also like, and let's create animals. Like not even Pokemon.
Right.
Just
right.
regular animals.
Damn.
Those poor animals.
I know. They must feel like, they must be so insecure. Like, damn, I'm just a fucking lizard.
Just a fucking dog, dude.
I'm just a fucking snake. Couldn't be a fucking Seviper or anything.
Yeah.
Fucking Arbok over here.
Fucking talking and shit.
Just a fucking garden snake.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's a funny thought.
It is. But I guess that's all we got,
Yeah,
really.
no, that's all we got. So, do we know if that's coming next week? Or we're just not going to solidify anything. It's
coming in the future.
Coming in the future.
Oh, yeah. Just like I will be. And you.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Celibacy.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Maybe.
All right, guys. That's been episode 28.
Maybe I'm kidding.
You'll never know.
We'll see.
I'll know.
But yes, that's been episode 28. This was fun. Like, honestly, I was a little worried. I was like, is this going to be interesting? But like doing the research, like I had a really good time.
I learned a lot, to be honest.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
You learned a lot about Pokemon you already have tattooed on your body. Shit you should have already known.
Actually, no. I learned about the other ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. You already knew all those facts about
Guess
them,
what,
right?
Chris? Tattoos don't need meaning.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But yeah, it's been fun. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace. How fucking dare you call me out of my own podcast?
Don't be a bitch about it.
Dude.
Don't be a bitch about it.
You really trying to hash this out right now, bro?
They can't hear us.
Definitely not.
Love you, man.
Love you. Arceus. Ooh, hit that Mr. Mime.
Reflect.